morning of January 6th, 2025, at 11:15 a.m., a man named David Morrow was sitting on the balcony of his apartment, enjoying the view of the Pacific Ocean as he usually did. It was a normal day until he suddenly noticed flames and sparks rising from the hills of Pacific Palisades, about 5 miles away from his apartment. Within just an hour, the fire spread so rapidly that thick smoke completely covered the hills. Satellite images showed that the fire was first reported in the Palisades Hills, but within a few hours, it had spread to Eatonhurst, Kenneth Getty, Skirball, and the San Fernando area. At the time of the fire, winds were blowing at 100 kilometers per hour, moving from inland toward the ocean. This raises an important question. If the fire initially started in Pacific Palisades, which is right next to the ocean, how did it spread 30 to 40 kilometers inland against the direction of the wind? Welcome back to If No Videos, dear viewers. This fire has destroyed a total of 38,000 acres, or 150 square kilometers. Over 12,000 buildings and homes have been reduced to ashes, and 180,000 people have been forced to evacuate. This is the most devastating fire in the history of Los Angeles, and even at the time of this video's production, it has not been fully extinguished. Every attempt to control the fire seems to be failing. Water bombers are dropping 45,000 liters of water at a time, but in front of this massive fire, it feels like just a few drops. Special fire retardant chemicals are also being used, but nature appears to overpower all human efforts. Over the past 25 years, California has been a hotspot for wildfires. In 2003, the Cedar Fire in San Diego County burned 273,000 acres and lasted from October 25th to November 4th. In 2007, the Witch Creek Fire in San Diego County burned 250,000 acres and lasted from October 25th to November 4th, 2017. The Tubbs Fire destroyed 36,000 acres, also occurring in October. Again, in 2017, the Thomas Fire burned 280,000 acres, starting in December and ending in January. On November 8th, 2018, the Camp Fire destroyed 500,000 acres over 17 days, finally ending on November 25th. In 2020, the Glass Fire burned 67,000 acres, starting in September and lasting into October. One common factor among these wildfires is that most of them occurred in winter. The Los Angeles wildfire has also erupted during peak winter. But why is it that most wildfires in California's history occur in winter? The answer lies in a phenomenon known as the Santa Ana winds. Santa Ana winds are hot and dry winds that blow across Southern California and Baja California, particularly in autumn and winter. If we observe the Earth's geography, we find that to the east of California lies a vast desert known as the Mojave Desert or the Great Basin. The sun's heat warms up this desert, increasing the air pressure over it. On the other hand, the ocean remains cooler, creating an area of low pressure. We learned in 6th grade that air moves from high pressure to low pressure. The greater the pressure difference, the faster the wind travels. This is exactly what happens here. The Santa Ana winds rush from southeastern California toward the ocean. These dry and hot winds absorb all the moisture from the land, making the region extremely dry. Trees and shrubs become highly flammable, creating the perfect conditions for a wildfire. Santa Ana winds fuel wildfires, but if a fire accidentally starts, these strong winds spread it rapidly. Burning embers travel long distances, and within moments, wildfires become uncontrollable. Now, logically, a wildfire should spread in the direction of the wind. But in Los Angeles' case, the opposite happened. The fire was first spotted in Pacific Palisades near the ocean, but later spread inland. Why did this happen? To understand this, we need to look at an interesting phenomenon called the mountain wave rotor. A mountain has two sides. 1, the windward side, where the wind directly hits. 2, the leeward side, where the wind moves away. When the wind hits the windward side, a vortex effect forms on the leeward side, causing air to spin in circles. This means that above the mountain, the wind moves in one direction, but below the mountain, the wind moves in the opposite direction. In the Los Angeles wildfire, this phenomenon played a major role. Pacific Palisades, where the fire was first spotted, is on the leeward side of the mountains. Due to the mountain wave rotor effect, winds generated on the lower side of the mountains moved opposite to the Santa Ana winds, pushing the fire inland instead of toward the ocean. Once a wildfire grows large enough, it triggers some unpredictable and bizarre phenomena. One of these is a fire tornado. A fire tornado is a rare and dangerous event that occurs during intense wildfires. It looks like a tornado, but inside it is only fire and burning embers. Fire tornadoes form because wildfires heat up the air so rapidly that the hot air rises quickly, creating an updraft. Cooler air rushes in to replace it, causing a rotational motion. This vortex sucks in burning debris, making the fire tornado even more intense. These fire tornadoes can overpower local wind patterns and create their own wind currents, making it almost impossible to predict their movement. However, most fire tornadoes follow the mountain ridges, helping the wildfire spread even further. Wildfires are a harsh reality, and due to climate change, their frequency is increasing. Today, artificial intelligence, AI, is used to predict the direction of fire spread, and this information is sent to firefighters. Firefighters try to spray chemical barriers around the fire to stop its spread, but in Los Angeles, each time they controlled one area, the wind would carry the fire to another. The first recorded wildfire in American history occurred in 1871 near Michigan. It burned 1.2 million acres and took 2,500 lives. From the Peshtigo Fire of 1871 to the Los Angeles wildfire of today, nature is constantly warning us. Controlling fire is still nearly impossible, but if we understand nature and adapt to climate change instead of fighting it, perhaps we can finally put an end to these devastating wildfires. We hope you like and share this IFNO video. Thank you for your loving comments. We'll see you in the next amazing video.